And I've had multiple other friends and peers use the same income tracker, and they didn't even realize they were losing money on failed payments until they started using this tracker. So this is going to be such a game changer for you. And I'm going to share a bonus tip on something that I did within this process that saved me over $5,000 last year. Financials are often not the first thing that you're really excited to figure out and dive into when you are starting your online business, but they are really, really important to make sure that we have a system for and are keeping on track of. So today I got you. In today's video, we're going to be diving into specifically how to manage your income and expenses as a business owner. We're actually going to be walking through a tutorial where I share my screen and actually go over my own income and expenses tracker that you can get yourself in the link below to be able to track all of your income and expenses. And I'm going to give you a couple different tips of how to set a schedule that you can manage and how to better manage your money. Tracking your income and expenses is so important, not only for the legal reasons of like eventually you're gonna have to do your taxes and you need to, have all that straight and figured out, but it's also really important, honestly, in all of the little things happening within your business. You have to know how much is coming in, how much is going out at all times, but also more importantly, the different categories that you're spending in. Can you make a hire next month? What is your projected income, right? Or let's say, what has been working? Where has the most of your income been coming in from? If you cannot answer all these questions and you don't have all of your expenses organized and laid out, it is going to make your life really difficult moving forward as a business owner. So there's two parts to this that we're going to be talking about today. The first half of the battle is figuring out a system and a way to organize all of the different information and just track all of the details and the numbers coming in. That's where the tracker comes into play that I'm going to share my screen and show you. Now, the second part of it is actually creating a routine and a process for yourself where every week or maybe every other week you are going in, you're storing receipts that need to be stored, you're tracking payments that came in and went out and all of these different details so that it actually gets done in your business. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to share a bonus tip on something that I did within this process that saved me over $5,000 last year. If you're excited for this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us be able to create all this content for you guys. And of course, I really appreciate it. So let's dive in. So one quick tip for you before we dive into the tracker here is to make sure to limit the amount of places of what you're having to track. This is going to just be a lot easier for you. So what I mean by this is a way that I do this in my business is I only have now we have two, but one business credit card, and then I have one business checking account. And all of the money that comes from clients goes into that checking account, and all of the money that goes out on anything related to business goes out from that credit card or checking account. There's no mix between personal. And this might seem like a very simple and basic thing, but the amount of business owners that do not do this from day one, you need to do this. It's just going to make your life so much simpler. Now, I'm obviously not a financial consultant, and this is not professional financial or legal advice, but this is definitely something that I see works for myself and my clients so that when you start to do all this tracking process, it's going to be a lot easier for you. The other part of this, as service-based entrepreneurs, you're collecting money through Stripe, maybe PayPal, maybe other platforms as well, like Thrivecart or Kartra or Kajabi. So again, you want to make sure that you're getting, email notifications all to one email from all those different payments coming in, and that you are condensing as few tools and systems as possible so that you're not having to look in 50 million places to collect all these numbers. Okay, I'm super excited to show you guys this beast of an income and expenses tracker, as it's going to help you so much, whether you decide to snag this one itself, which you can purchase via the link in the description, or you can create something on your own that works for you. But essentially, this is going to show you not only how to use this specific tracker, but some things that are essential to track no matter which tracker you are using. So as you can see here, we have a home page, which is like an overview page. So you actually don't enter any details here, but it's going to start to pull information from all of your months within the tracker here. So we have all of our separate months at the bottom, and we also have a different tab for expenses that we'll be looking at in a minute. But so if, for example, we start bringing in, so 6,107 in January. You can see that that number is right up here, and that is combined from all of the numbers that we have here. So let's say we sign another $1,000 client. We're going to record it here with their name. We are going to mark that as due, and let's say that is payment 1 of 2. And you can even mark a due date there. So now it is changed to 7,000, and it will automatically change on here as well. So this is really, really great because you don't have to manually add up all of these different things. And it's going to be super helpful for you in decision making because you can come and start to see, hey, okay, for Q1 or month to month, how has my expenses been growing from month to month? How have my income been growing from month to month? The other thing that I love about this is it actually does set aside, 30%. So it'll also tell you your estimated taxes owed. Now, obviously, I'm not a tax professional, so this is just kind of a safe estimate that people recommend setting aside for your business. So you can even see, how much income you have coming in after you set aside money for taxes. The other thing that I love is you can see a quarterly view and your profit margin, which is something a lot of people don't pay enough attention to. And this can be a really great metric rather than just an income goal of 5K or 10K or anything like that we can grow. So all the numbers on this are just numbers to fill in. They are not my own numbers of any sorts, but this can kind of just show you how this might add up. Now, the other thing that is really great is this is going to pull numbers from up here and show you kind of just a chart of growth from your actual sales, your revenue, and your expenses. So you can see how that balances out over time. And then this pie chart is if you want to fill it in, you can just put in your different programs and numbers here. And add up all of the things from offer number 1. You kind of put the total here for the year, whatever date it's updated, and it will also show you a pie chart, which is really awesome because you can see where the majority of your income is coming in from. The other things up here is you can see kind of total sales and cash, estimated sales and cash. So when you go to end the year, this is really great to keep just for your records. And again, this gets you really excited to come check in here maybe every day or every week and see how things are going. Now, let's go to one of the months in particular so you can see how this works. So this is set up for a service-based entrepreneur. So if your business is not a service-based business, then this might not be the best tracker for you, but this is what I would recommend either purchasing this one or setting up something similar. So this is where we have all of our different offers. So all service-based entrepreneurs have multiple offers, so you can always add more spaces in between, but I like to title these. So I might title this one Laptop Lifestyle Bootcamp for me, and then I'm going to put their names right here for every single client I have and the amount due that month. And if they do have payment plans, it's great to keep track of that because I can say, okay, great, this is payment 1, and I'm going to go ahead and put that payment 2 is due in February. So I'm already stacking my recurring revenue in the moment. And that's a tip that I have for you if you're going to utilize an income and expenses tracker is the minute that a client signs on, go ahead and put all their payments that are due, the dates that they're due and the months that they're due so that you can keep track of that and you're not having to mentally keep track. The other thing to note is in the moment, whenever a payment comes in or whenever an expense goes out, that should be an immediate in the moment thing, or you can set up a system for yourself that every Friday you go and backtrack all of the things that have happened that week. But for me, I'll get an email that says, hey, so-and-so made their payment. And I always just have this pulled up and I immediately go, okay, great. And let's mark that to paid. Now, the other really cool feature that you can see here is when I just mark that to paid, this chart right here of payment statuses actually changed. So I'll do it again. We'll go to due, it changes. Go to paid, it changes. So this is really, really great because you're going to actually be able to track when payments have been paid, which ones are due and which ones are failed. And this will be really, really helpful for you to manage all of this and know where your income is coming in. So you know that the due amount is already in your bank, paid is still coming this month. So the tracker also has some other things. You can set some goals up here, and the actual expenses literally pulls your expenses from the expenses sheet. Revenue pulls it from all of these columns here. You can set some goals. You can also set books. So let's say you landed a new client. This is one-on-one coaching. And let's say you landed them for 3 months, $500 each. So that's $1,500. So you can see it changes our booked sales up here at the top. And then even if you only have one payment, like a $500 payment out of all of that this week, you can still add it all in, but that was all booked sales that you had.
The other thing is products over here. So if you have some digital products or courses or things like that, you can just track the number. So let's say we got 2 more course purchases today. That would be 3 total, and it will automatically calculate the price for you based on whatever you set here. So as you can see, there's a lot of automations that are going to make this so quick and easy for you to be able to see all of your numbers, and every month is set up in the same way. Now let's look at expenses. So this expenses sheet is a bit of a beast. You can definitely keep it more simplified if you want, but this truly is a game changer in such a good way to keep track of everything. So bank fees are something that a lot of people don't look at and forget to track with expenses. These I do not calculate. There are already formulas set up in here to calculate them based on the revenue that is coming in for you. Software, you can drop down all of these little menus and you can actually write out the different software that you have in your business and what is due every month. Sometimes if you pay in full, you can just put an X, that it's already been paid. Your team, you can also break down different team members and what you pay them every single month. And what I like to do is keep them in red until they're paid, and then I mark it as black. Then various expenses, this can be a lot of different things, but the really cool part about your various expenses is that we have a drop-down menu over here. And this is based on the US tax form for expenses here. So you can actually categorize them based on what they were. And then it's going to be super easy for you to quite literally do your taxes every month. So this is really just going to help you be super organized. And again, it's going to give you these nice little pretty summaries at the top here. So whether you are using this income tracker or whether you are making your own, the things that I want to highlight throughout this are that we want to track all the different clients and income amounts that are coming in every single month. And you want to be able to categorize this so that you can look back and know what they were paying for and what that and the amount that was for. For our expenses, same thing. We also want to know what we were spending every single month. And so breaking it up in these categories is a really great way to do that. And even further, if you can break it up for your taxes, it's going to be so much simpler in the end. The other thing that is important that I've already said before is to do it in the moment. So I personally think as soon as I make an expense, I pull this up and I mark it down. Otherwise, I'm going to have to forget it. And it actually takes more time to go back through all my statements on the end of every Friday and figure it out. So I personally do it in the moment every single day and just have this pulled up. But some other people like to set a schedule for themselves where they do it every Friday morning. And it's kind of like an admin task and they check off all of the things that have happened that week. The other really great thing is having this yearly overview. This is something most people don't have when they make kind of just a little uber simplified version for themselves. And this is such a game changer for me to continually come every week and just know, are we on track? How are we looking? What investments can I make moving forward? Again, at the end of the year, you're going to have so many metrics to be able to measure things by. We actually made a lot of decisions my second year, moving into the second year of my business based on this chart right here of where the majority of my money was coming in from. And it literally impacted our marketing and our sales and everything else. So I'm super excited for you guys to dive into hopefully this tracker via the link below. And if not, making your own to just get on top of your income and expenses.
Now, another tip for staying on top of your finances, other than going through everything that we mentioned in this tracker, as well as setting a schedule for yourself, whether daily or weekly, or maybe bi-weekly, to actually record all of this, is you are also going to need to save all of your different invoices and receipts. So I recommend doing this in Google Drive, as that's normally a core part of your business anyways. But again, make sure to do it on the spot. I find the absolute easiest way to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. So if I go out and grab a coffee for a meeting for business, I'm saving that receipt, I'm taking a picture of it, and I'm putting it in an organized workflow in my Google Drive. As soon as I pay a payment to one of my contractors, I download that invoice and I upload it to my Google Drive. So you really just want to make sure that you are keeping all of those things stored, because a spreadsheet is only a spreadsheet when it are keeping all of those things, submitting stuff for your taxes and legal things like that. The other thing I want to note is if you are a higher level entrepreneur who has multiple people on your team, or just a VA even on your team, this can actually be something that you get them to help you with, where maybe your VA is the one who gets the email notifications of payments coming in or failed payments coming in, and they can have this tracker and be the one to go and mark those off whenever they are coming in, as far as they've been paid or they were failed, and setting up a process and system for your business to do that. But that has been one of the most helpful things about this tracker as well, is not only me knowing my numbers and being organized, but staying staying on top and actually keeping more revenue that I didn't always realize was coming out or not being fulfilled. Now, the last thing I want to tell you is because this is manual, when it comes to actually like bookkeeping and recording all of your numbers for taxes and at the end of the year, I do recommend using an official software such as QuickBooks or Xero, as these are both really great tools where you can actually connect up all of your credit cards and all of these different things. However, I find that they're not as easy for me to keep track and stay in control of all the money coming in and out on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis, but they are going to be better off for you doing more of the like official things at the end of the year. Okay, so now you have seen how all of that works, and I'm sure you're super excited to go get organized now. So I want to share my one bonus tip that I promised I was going to share with you that helped me save over $5,000 last year. And that bonus tip is exactly what I just showed you actually at during that screen share, where I track payments as far as whether they are due, whether they have failed, or whether they've been paid. And I'm able to actually see what amount of payments are failed payments. Before I started doing this, I actually did have an income tracker, an expenses tracker, and I tracked the money that was supposed to come in for the month, every single month, and all the expenses, but I wasn't keeping track of failed payments. And so this was a really big problem as my business started to grow, where payments would be late and delayed, and maybe I would miss checking off one or two of them, especially once you have a lot of clients. So this definitely was super, super helpful. And I've had multiple other friends and peers use the same income tracker, and they didn't even realize they were losing money on failed payments until they started using this tracker. So this is going to be such a game changer for you. So in order to get started tracking your income, you can obviously go make your own little spreadsheet here and there, but if you want to steal my exact income tracker, you can via the link below where you can purchase it. And it is going to save you so many hours as well as so many dollars having the system in place. And one of the best things about it is, as you've seen, the spreadsheet that I have to track all of this is automated. So you only have to put in certain numbers here and there, and then it's going to do so much for you automatically. So I'm super excited for you guys to get organized and get on top of your finances. It's going to help you make so many important decisions and feel really empowered within your business moving forward. And you can follow me on Instagram for more trainings and tips and tricks at Amanda Kolbye, where I talk about all different things from this to content to, you know, just what does my life even look like behind the scenes of everything. So thank you so much for watching this channel. Thank you for supporting us. You can check out some of my other videos here where we talk about business, entrepreneurship, marketing, and digital nomad lifestyle. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all in the next video.